evening, Kuala Lumpur. Good evening, Malaysia. Good evening, Asia. Good evening, Cyprus. Hong Kong. Yeah. Any other countries in the room? Singapore. What are you doing here? You've got to go, please. Daja Hao. That is the end of my Mandarin. 3 words. You have no idea what this means to Mary and I. And I'm going to speak very slowly so that there's a chance that you'll pick up everything that I can share with you this evening. And then afterwards, if you did not pick it all up, James and I can see you up here so that James can translate some of the things that we're covering. My job here tonight is to give you hope, okay? To give you hope, to give you to think, well, perhaps it could work. Why? Because you're looking at someone, yourself, who comes from just a very ordinary family, very ordinary background, went to a very good but straightforward state school, one of 5 children, the oldest boy of 5 children. And you need to know that we were a very, very simple family. My father, bless him, he's wherever he is now. My father couldn't even read and write. I used to sit on his lap and read the newspaper to him. We were a happy family, a lot of love in the house. And my mother, bless her, she's now also left us. My mother used to say to me, you're special. You can be anything you want to be. And I believed that. My mum told me that. I was a little boy. And for the parents in the room with children, I highly, highly recommend that you tell your children every day that you love them, that they're special, and they can be anything they want to be. Okay? Just a little bit of advice. You're looking at someone who, I'll tell you some of the things that I did before network marketing. I was a policeman in London for 8 years. Traffic policeman, you know? The worst kind, the evil kind. If there's any policeman in the room, come and see me, okay? You can do it too. In London, policeman in London. And I used to stand in Buckingham Palace Road, Hyde Park Corner, Piccadilly, in the rain, directing traffic. And I used to think, there has to be more than this. I was in my 20s, 19, 20, 21, 22, just a young man, thinking there must be more than this. I also, before this, I was a driving instructor. I sold carpets, I used to sell carpets, fit carpets. That's where I met Mary. I worked in a department store. I was in a shop. I sold carpets, Mary sold fabrics, sold curtains. Right? But she was a Saturday girl. She worked one day, Saturday. I worked all week. She was 17, I was 19. That's how long we've known each other. We've been married 34 years, we've known each other. And she gets better looking every day. The fact is, I loved her before I met her. Because the day I took her out for the first time, I was 19 and I thought, oh no. Not, oh no, Mary. I went home and I thought, I panicked. I panicked. Oh no, I've met a girl I have to see again. Someone that I knew I had to be with. She didn't think the same. She went home and thought, oh, thank goodness that's over. I had to convince her. No, you'll be good with it. Be good with me. I'll make some money. We'll be good. We're good. I'll buy you a nice car. Big house. I also used to drive a van and go and empty parking meters. You know, parking meters with coins. Parking in London. And I used to have a van, and we used to have a crate, a carrier crate, and it had empty boxes. And you go to the parking meter, unlock, open, take out the coins in the box, put them in this crate, take out an empty box, put it back in the parking meter, close it, lock it. That was my job. That's what I did. Okay. I used to deliver milk. I was a milkman. I used to deliver milk. I used to work on a van delivering washing machines. Okay? So I'm no different to anybody in the room. I saw network marketing with Mary when I was 23, hundreds of years ago. Okay? So I'm here to give you hope. There's nothing special about me. The only thing that was special about me was that I believed I was worth more than somebody else told me I was worth. I believed that I could do more, I could be more. We could have a family that could live a life full of excitement, full of experiences, full of love, where we didn't have to worry about money. And I'm going to come to that. So in that I can give you hope, I need to share with you my World Ventures experience. And yes, I've been in the industry for nearly 35 years, longer than most of you have been alive. Except Sir. He's older than me. 1 year older. So, you see all these videos and all this stuff and all these posters and fun. Anybody can produce marketing material. It's easy to make films. It's easy to produce stuff that says, woo-ha! You know, we're going to make it. I don't work like that. I have been around the industry too long. Here's what happened to me. In 2009, Mary and I were very, very comfortable. We came into, well, we were then, you know, as James said, we had 3 homes, cars, we were spending 3 months of the year in Florida, playing on golf. Life was good. And I was doing some consultancy work. I'm very well known in the industry. If you put my name in Google, you get about 11,000 hits. And it's all okay, it's all good stuff. Which is very strange because I've done some bad things. Hopefully I haven't got caught. I don't put any of that on Google, I wouldn't know how, but the stuff's on there. So network marketing, I'm listed in network marketing in the top 100 earners of all time. I don't know how that happened. But the important thing is it means that companies contact me to ask advice, which is great because they pay me as well for the advice. So I was a consultant to, well, I got a call from a company called Electrolux. Who knows Electrolux? Yeah? Global name, 70-year-old, multi-billion-dollar company. And the chief executive officer of Electrolux called me. I won't tell you his name because this is being recorded and it would be inappropriate. He's a Fortune 500 executive. And he said, Peter, would you come to Dallas, Texas? Hello, Dallas, Texas. And spend some time discussing network marketing. We think we might be able to do network marketing in Electrolux. So I said, sounds exciting, sounds interesting, I'll come on. So I flew to Dallas. This was April 2009. I spent 3 days discussing with the board about network marketing at their company. Just didn't come together, just did not really, they didn't understand. Their corporate minds were, why would we do that? I said, well, you give people an opportunity. Why would we do that? Because then you have a bigger business where people are working for themselves. Why would we do that? So after 3 days, I gave up. I don't give up. I just said, I'm sorry, I'm losing the will to live. So I've got to leave now because I can't keep explaining to you that this would be a better way for you to build a bigger business. Anyway. So after 3 days, I'm going home. I'm going to go back. We were in Sarasota. Mary was at the house in Sarasota, in Florida. We had a house there. I called a gentleman called Kyle Lowe. How many of you know Kyle Lowe? Yeah? For the new people in the room, Kyle Lowe is the World Ventures Vice President of International. He's responsible for international. He is now, he wasn't then. He lived in Dallas. He still lives in Dallas, of course. I rang him. I said, Kyle, I'm in Dallas. We haven't seen each other for 2 years. I've known Kyle for a long time. I've worked with him in other companies. He's a multi-level corporate executive, very experienced, very highly regarded. And I've worked with him in several other companies. We've opened countries together in previous businesses. So I said, pick me up at the Hilton, Kyle, take me to the airport, and I'll buy you breakfast. Let's catch up. So he picked me up, we drove up the road in his car. And I said, so Kyle, what are you doing these days? What are you into? And he said, I'm with a company called World Ventures. So I said, World Ventures. What, the travel company? Because I know them all. They all approach me, I see them all. It's a small industry. It's like engineering. When you're inside engineering, you know engineers. When you're inside medicine, you know medicine. When you're inside network marketing, you know, particularly me, because they all talk to me. I said, World Ventures, Carl. Travel. I said, why are you in that? And he said, because it's really dynamic, it's really looking great. I said, Kyle, it's a travel business and network marketing. And he said, yes, I know. I said, Kyle, it's a scam. He said, no, it's not. I said, yes, it is, Kyle. They're all scams. All network marketing travel companies are scams. They're all rubbish. Because you know they've been shut down. People have been arrested. He said, I know, he said, but this one's different. I said, what's so different? He said, I know the owners, I know the company supplying the products. I know Peter, you know me, I know. I said, Carl, if you are in a travel deal in network marketing, you are mentally ill. And he said, no, you're wrong. I said, no, I'm right. Anyway, he said, look. He said, their offices are in Dallas. Let's go and talk to them, meet them, and then I'll take you to the airport. I said, no, Carl, take me to the airport. He said, no, they're only over. I said, take me to the airport. He said, just half an hour. I said, take me to the airport. I'm not talking to a bunch of about travel and network. I said, it's not happening. So he said, okay. We went to the airport, we had breakfast, a little bit more conversation about World Ventures, and I went back to Tampa, Florida. But I could not stop thinking about that conversation because I know Kyle Lowe. This is a man who has 2 MBAs, not one. He speaks Mandarin. This is an American who speaks Mandarin. He loves Asia. This is a guy who is so intelligent, he shakes. Literally, if you meet Carl, he's always moving. He can't sit still, he doesn't sleep. He gets less sleep than James Lee, and that's unbelievable. He's actually smaller than James Lee. That's mind you, everybody's small to me. So I'm thinking, Carl's not stupid. What does he see? What does he know? And I know people, so I start making phone. I'm back in England at this time. We went back to England. I'm making phone calls. I rang some Americans. I rang people associated with the DSA. I rang people in London. What do you know about this World Ventures? Not a lot, really. Good company. Seem okay. No problems. Owned by 2 guys. Nothing about them. Nothing particularly dynamic. They seem to be doing okay, trying to get off the ground. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything wrong. I thought, I need to find out what's wrong so I can warn Kyle. I couldn't find anything, which really irritated me, because now what was really annoying was my brain was going, supposing it's real. Because I've always known in my heart that if travel and network marketing were one day to come together in the same place at the same time, it would be absolutely enormous. It would be the biggest thing I'd ever seen, because travel is such a big industry, but nobody had ever done it. And I was beginning to get a little bit annoyed, because I thought, if it is for real, I might have to consider what it's all about and find out more. In June of 2009, a couple of months later, I was at home in England, and Kyle called me. Because really my sponsor is Kyle Lowe. At the end of the day, it was Kyle Lowe that got me in this, right? Because I respect the man so much. Kyle rang me and he said, we're going to be in London, Peter. We're going to be at the Hilton. It's always Hiltons. We're going to be at the Hilton in Edgware Road. Do you want to come and meet us? Meet the owners. I said, well, you're in my hometown. I was born in London. I'll jump on a train and I'll come and see you. We'll have a coffee, chat. I went to London and I met the owner, I met the team, the World Ventures team. Matt Morris was there as well. I'm sitting looking at these guys, I'm introduced to them, and I am wanting to find out how bad these people are. I'm going to find out, it's not because you, it's something about you. And I'm sitting there, you have to remember guys, I'm talking to people, like a team, who were still learning to walk when I started doing this. Okay, these are young guys. These are guys who are talking about building a global business, and I'm sitting, really? How are you going to do that? And I said to them, and I still hear myself saying it, which sounds stupid today. I said to them, if you come to Europe and you mess around with people like so many network marketing American companies have, I know the people that will shut you down. And they looked at me like, really? And I must have sounded really silly, because why is this guy threatening us? You know, we haven't done anything wrong. Here's why, guys, you need to understand. I have spent 34 years in this wonderful industry, and some of that time I've had to fight and protect it. James briefly mentioned my association with the Direct Selling Association. Way back, I was 10 years with Amway. When I first got into network marketing, I was 10 years with Amway. Mary and I were in that company. We did very well. Then I went into corporate. I got headhunted and became a corporate officer. I went straight in as a general manager of an Australian company. From there, I moved through other network marketing companies. I one day became the general manager of Newskin in the UK. I was the first corporate officer in Newskin in Europe. So I know all about Newskin's development in Europe. I was party to all the countries opening and involved in all of that. I became Newskin's World Federation Direct Selling Association representative, and I served in Germany and Australia. During that period, 1994-5, some serious stuff was happening in Europe with network marketing. Major problems. We had a lot of very scam companies arriving from the United States. They were doing what we call in England front-end loading. They were asking people for £5,000, £10,000, £15,000 to sign up. It was all about the money. They were effectively money games. Unfortunately, you have some here in Asia. You have some network marketing companies out there that are all about money, moving money games. They're not real businesses. Now, as a result of that situation, the legislators in Europe started to close down on network marketing. It started in Germany, and it spread. And they came after us and said, we are going to stop you doing this. Network marketing is going to be outlawed. Now, I was the general manager of Newskin at the time. And we went, whoa, hold on. We have a phrase in England, which is, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, you've got dirty bathwater, throw that away, but keep the baby, because it's not all bad. Some of us are doing this properly. We will do this properly. So we sat down and they formed a task force, 5 general managers in the UK from the biggest companies, New Skin, Amway, Herbalife, we all sat down with the Direct Selling Association and we formed a legal task force to work with the government to regulate and legislate network marketing. It was hard work because the Department of Trade and Industry, is what it was called in England, were determined to stop us. Said, we've had enough of you people scamming people. We said, we are not scamming people. You can't kill the industry. You can't kill Mary and I's livelihood because you've got a few bad people. There's bad people in every industry. So I spent 3.5 years working with them on writing and working out the legislation on meetings. It was so boring. I mean, if any of you have written law or been involved with law, it was like watching paint dry on a wall. It was like, oh, not another meeting to discuss law. But we got there. In 1997, the Trading Schemes Regulations were created. It's now parliamentary law in England. It's an act of Parliament. It spread throughout Europe. It became federal law throughout Europe. Not in exactly the same wording, but the other countries adopted the approach. So I know, when I said to these guys, if you come to Europe, because I am sick and tired of defending my wonderful industry idiots, okay? But when I said to them, how are you going to come, how are you going to become international? They said to me, well, we were hoping you might help us. And I thought, well, that's actually a fair answer. I can't argue with that. They're not arrogant, they're not big-headed, they're not saying to me, well, we'll do it anyway, we don't care what you think, we're Americans, we know it's the American way or no way. Sorry, any Americans in the room, I do apologise, but not really, I don't apologise. And they weren't like that. They were respectful of my experience, respectful of my knowledge, respectful of my association with the industry. And they said, Peter, Kyle speaks so highly of you. Would you work with Kyle on a business plan for international? And I thought, well, that could be interesting. Now my little brain, I've got a very little brain, very small brain, my little brain is thinking, I can now be involved in what they're going to do next. And it does look like quite a sexy company right now, because it looks like they might be the one that's going to do travel and multi-level. And they might have it right. So I would then find out, if I work with them, more inside the company. I would go to Dallas, I would sit in meetings, I would meet the executives, I would dig in and find out. So I did all this. I went to Dallas a few times, and I did the planning with Kyle. By the end of 2009, December, we were in Sarasota again, in Florida. Phone rings at my house in Florida. It's Kyle. Peter, would you come to Dallas? Are you in the States? I said, yeah, I'm in the States for 2 weeks. He said, would you come to Dallas? They're going to do it your way. And I said, my way, Carl, what are you talking about? It's not my way. He said, no, well, you know what I mean, our way, what we talked about. So I said, really? He said, yeah. What the country is and the way, he said, yeah. And he was thrilled because he knew that was the only way to do it. He wanted to do it properly. So Carl had got my support between the two of us, because it was only Carl in those days on his own. I flew up to Dallas, we had 2 more days of board meetings. And by the end of it, I walked out of the office, I flew home, back down to Sarasota, and I walked into the house. Mary, I can still remember, walked across towards me in the villa. And she said, how was it? How did it go? And I said, it went really well. I'm going to do it. She said, you're going to do what? I said, I'm going to be a rep. She said, what? I said, I'm going to build a World Ventures network. She said, but why? Because to her, I was already the master distributor of another company in Europe. We haven't wanted, why would, at our ages, with our experience, why would you go and do it again? And I said, because it's irresistible, love. It's irresistible. This could be the one, this could be the most dynamic, biggest network marketing business any of us have ever seen. And I said, furthermore, somebody is going to make a lot of money, and that needs to be me and my friends. I don't want to be standing at Mount Fuji in 5 years' time and I see the banner and I think, I saw that. I was at the meetings when we were going to international. I had the chance to be at the front of that. And I said, oh, think about it. Pass me the gun, I'm going to shoot myself in the head. Because in 5 years from then, and it's 5 years now since then, or 4 years actually, because it was the February of 2010 that we got started. Now, a little bit of something I didn't mention at the time. I hope, although I've got a very small brain, I'm not that stupid. It was back in June of 2009 when I was with Matt Morris as a team. I got Matt Morris to one side and I said, let's have a chat, because I wanted to find out from him what he knew about the comp plan and how that works. And I said, Matt, just in case this works, I'll take a position just under you. Don't you tell anybody I'm in this. He said, okay. I said, because I'm thinking, if it does work, I can put a few people down there, let's see what happens, which is now our left leg, okay? And then I can come out the blocks a little bit faster than if I was to wait until I check this out completely. And if I don't like the company, I'll just ignore the position and let it die. But I'll take a position, and I would challenge you tonight. Take the chance, just in case all of this is for real. Can you imagine? What opportunity to say to yourself, well, hang on, this is not a big decision, this is not a huge amount of money for an investment in the fastest growing network marketing travel company on the face of the planet. So let's see if this might be worth it. So I took that position, and then in February, of course, I started working, and I started calling people, we moved. The rest is obviously history, 4 years in the company. James gave you his numbers, I'll give you a few numbers because it just shows you what can happen in 4 years. We've had 450,000 people go through our business. 2013, last year, I was #1 earner in the company, and that I didn't even aim for. I got an email from the company, oh, you're #1. They don't recognise that. They used to recognise it on stage, but they stopped doing that because the company's got so big now, it's become inappropriate. And big companies don't do that, small companies do. But I was #1 earner last year. Now, the reason that's exciting, yes, exciting for our bank balance, but what's really exciting is that I'm not American. So it proves, for those of you in the room who understand the legitimacy of network marketing and the rules and regulations that I have helped to formulate, that if a network marketing company is genuine, people joining it today must be able to earn as much or more than the people who joined it before you. So if I, when the company was 3 years old, became #1, and I don't even live in the USA, that proves that anybody can do that after the event. And it's not the people that started it that make all the money, that's the point I'm making. If it was the people that started it making the money, it would not be legitimate. It would be about being in first and other people don't have the same chance. That would actually be illegal if it could be proven. It certainly would in Europe. So all I do really is say to you those numbers, and in terms of, we have 4,500 new reps joining per week. We are cycling just over 1,000 times a week, for those of you that understand cycling. And the reason I tell you that is because it works. It works. For Mary and I, for us, being here with you is not about making more money, because we can't make any more money from the Asian business. It's maxed out. We can't. But the reason we came was because of this gentleman here, okay, and the gentleman sitting next to him. These two are the reason this room exists. And you can say it's because of Peter, because I joined World Ventures, but yeah, you can go back that far. But I tell you, Asia is all about Dr. Wu and James Lee and Dennis Bay, who were the three who got together with himself over in Las Vegas in 2011 and sat with the company, and they proposed what they could do in Asia. And the company was not ready for Asia. I was. So I put pressure on the company and said, we're going to Asia. They said, no, we're not. I said, we're going to Asia. They said, no, we're not. I said, yes, we're going to Asia. And these guys are coming to see you. No, you can't bring them up. They're coming. Okay? They've got a presentation. You should give them respect and see the presentation. They didn't want to meet these guys. It was all too soon, right? But they did. They sat down and they did a fantastic job of presenting what was possible in Asia. You've got to remember, you're dealing with people, Americans at that, and the American team at that time had no clue where Singapore was. I'm not making that up. Where is Singapore? Right? So we were literally working on blind faith. There were no products here 3 years ago. There was just these two gentlemen and one more who believed this market was worth it. And of course the results are now, we'll look at this room, and this is one room, okay? But we're still tiny, guys. There's nothing happened yet. The entire membership of World Ventures wouldn't even fill a small English town. There's 60 million people in my country, and every reasonable sized town would have more people in the whole of World Ventures in 28 countries. We haven't stretched our legs. We're not even out of first gear. Okay? We have such a long way to go. We have 100 countries to go. And I want you to do this. I want you to think globally. Because if you think Asia and beyond, your business, which is what the only way I knew to think, international, will be something quite extraordinary. You could have, some of you in this room will have millions of people in your business. How do I know that? Because I was in Amway, and there were 11 million people in Amway. So if there could be 11 million people selling soap, there could be a lot more than 11 million in travel. Yeah? I want to finish by just sharing with you what this is about. It's not about money. Talk about money, talk about numbers. It isn't about money. This is about what money does and what money can bring to your life. Yes, it can bring you Ferraris and Aston Martins and big houses. But the first thing that this will bring you is freedom. We're not selling money, we're selling this word here. The English word freedom. However that translates into your languages, that word is what this is about. Because, remember I said I was waving my arms about in the rain at Hyde Park Corner when I was 22, 23 years of age, soaking wet, directing traffic, and I thought there's got to be more. And I didn't stand there and think more means a big car, a big house. I thought there's got to be a way I don't have to get soaking wet and cold to make a living. There has to be a way that I don't have to stand here because someone told me to stand here. There has to be a way that I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning in the freezing cold dark to go into a job that I'm not really enjoying anymore. There has to be another way. And let me tell you where most of you are and most of the people in the world are. And what we offer in network marketing is a way out, a way to change your life. And this is, to me, the essence of what we do. And the reason we're here is because we get excited about what can happen for you. I really genuinely mean that, right? We can't always keep coming back. It's a long way to come, and we do have other things we want to do. We promised James and Doctor that we would come back for this 2-week tour. This is what it's about. You currently have, most people in the world have linear income. Now, linear income is an English word, I hope it translates. It's straight line income. Linear means straight line. Straight line income. Here's how it works. You give an hour of your life to somebody else for money. You give 2 hours. You give 8 hours of your life to somebody else for so much money per hour. And the person you give those hours to, they decide what that hour is worth. Not you. They say, I'm going to pay you £20 an hour to be in this office. And that is it. I might give you a little bit more if you stay with us for 10 years, I'll give you £22 an hour. If you stay with us for 15 years, I'll give you £23 an hour. but I'll decide. Oh, and you will get promoted if I decide you should be promoted, and I like you. But if I don't like you, you won't get promoted. And furthermore, you will be here at 8:30. You will have 45 minutes for lunch, and you will leave at 6. And if you don't like that, you're fired. And when you tell me you want a week off to go on holiday, I will decide if you can go or not, because I will tell you when you can have the week off. You understand me? Because your life belongs to me. I'm your boss. Got that? That's the route you chose. You decided to work with our company, build my dreams, build my goals, and my big house, and my future for my family, and that's your fault. You will work for me for this much per hour. If you don't like it, leave and get another job. That's the deal. But most people think is the way it works. We have this, it's the same here as it is in the West. Go to school, get an education, perhaps you go to college, you might get a good education, you leave, you get a job, you might buy a car, you might get a house, you might get married, you might have a family. Eventually you'll have to do that for 45 years, you'll retire and die. And there's people out there going, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Are you serious? Why would you do that? Now, this does not mean that some of you in the room may have jobs you love. I'm serious. Some people do love their jobs. They do their job from their heart. They really enjoy it. Some people in medicine, some people in voluntary work. I understand that. But you're a minority. You're a small number of people. The vast majority of people do not want to get up in the morning and go to somewhere they don't particularly want to be. In the traffic, I've seen traffic in Kuala Lumpur blows my mind. People do that every morning and every night. I would pass me the gun and shoot something. Do you have anybody commit suicide in the traffic jam? Honestly, I thought England was crowded. People think that's normal. Oh, and you want to have a day off, one day, to go to your children's school to see your children in a play at school or do something at school. You want to see your children at school? No, sorry, you stay here. I can't afford you to go off today. You stay here. I need you in the office. But it's my 5-year-old. I don't care if it's shit. I don't care how old. You stay here. You belong to me. You're mine. Your future is mine. I will decide what you earn. I will decide how many days off you have. I will decide if you get a pay rise. I will decide what you can afford by what I decide to pay you. Now I want you to think about the alternative. I want you to think about total financial freedom. The sort of thing that I know you haven't thought about because you didn't have a way of getting to it. You never had a vehicle. You see, you don't want to have dreams like that when there's no, you can't see how, I might win the lottery. Yeah, you might. But you might not. Okay? You might get lucky. Yeah, but you might not. I think you're lucky that you're in this room tonight and not hearing me, but understanding what we're doing. You haven't had the vehicle to take you to where you could be. We're going to suggest to you that you're seeing it right now. Okay? What is financial freedom? Financial freedom is lots of things. It's driving the car that you want to drive that's paid for. Living in the house you want to live in that's paid for with no mortgage. I promise you it's a great feeling. Mary and I do it all the time. Driving several cars that are paid for. My son right now is on a racetrack. We have a racing car. He races in Jaguar saloon car championships with his mum and dad's money. But for fun, as a family, we finance our son. We've got one boy, he's 27. He's a part-time racing driver. He doesn't do it full-time. He doesn't want, it's amateur racing. But it's wonderful that we can afford as a family to go to the big racetracks in England, all the big Silverstone, Brands Hatch, all the big ones. He races a Jaguar. I've had 57 Jaguars. So I'm I'm a treasurer of the Jaguar Club. So I'm a bit of a Jaguar nutcase. I've also got a couple of Aston Martins and others. I mean, I collect cars. The bottom line is that costs money, okay? But that's part of financial freedom. But I'll tell you what financial freedom really is. It's waking up in the morning when you've finished sleeping. Not when the alarm clock goes off and tells you you've got to get out of bed and go and work for that guy you hate. Okay? Financial freedom is going into a nice restaurant, sitting down with your partner and your children or whomever, and reading the menu from left to right, not from right to left. How much is that? How much is that? Oh, I'll eat that. Well, why are you eating that? Because it's cheaper than that. Okay? But don't tell me you don't do that. And when you get the wine, we're big into wine in Europe, you get the wine list. What's the cheap wine? I'll have that one. I don't like that wine, but I'll drink it because it's the cheapest. Okay? Driving the car that you want to drive, not the one you can afford. Living in the house you want to live in, not the one you can afford. Wearing the clothes you want to wear, not the clothes you can afford. That's financial freedom. Okay? Understand. And what we're about, that's what we sell. That's exactly what. If I was standing here telling you that this is possible and I didn't know anybody that had done it, then this would be wrong. We've done it, Mary and I have done it. I know Dr. Will and James have done it. I think James is pretty much there now. I know what you earn, mate, so for most of these people, they go, you're fine, okay? We have in our organisation 5 people who make over $1 million a year already. And that's after 4 years. How many will we have in another 4 years? 105? I don't know. We have people in our organisation, they may not be making millions, but they have been able to break free of the shackles of doing somebody else's bidding and somebody else telling them what they can have and how they can live and where they should be and so on. So I want to leave you with that, and I want to say to you that this business is so simple. You can complicate it if you like. Because some people do. And when I saw this, I thought travel, network marketing. I've always known that would work. And there's 3, on a 3-legged stool will stand up. A 2-legged stool, sit on the stool, will fall over. 3 legs will stand up. There's 3 legs to a network marketing company. 3 parts. Number 1 is product. Not in an order of importance, but number 1 will be product. Travel. Hello? Anybody think travel doesn't work? Anybody here think travel? No, who travel? I mean travel. Who does that? Who do you know that travels? Just about anybody who can, yeah? Biggest industry on the planet. Number 2, management. Are they good? Can they be relied on? Are they ethical? I'm very, very happy with the management of this company. Number 3, compensation. Is there any money in this? Good grief. I was in Dallas, Texas, and I spoke to a guy from Kansas, I can't tell you who he is. And I said, how are you doing? And he said, well, I'm making $40,000 a month, and I don't know how that's happened. I said, you're making 40 grand a month and you don't know how? No, ain't it great? And I said, yeah, it's fantastic, but you don't understand. No, they keep sending me this money. But it's travel, and I do a lot of traveling, and I get sent money. And I said, okay, that obviously works. I'm serious, this guy did not know where his money was coming from. He just was traveling and telling people. Then you've got the aspect of how simple this is with regard to product. How many of you have been in a network marketing company where you've got a potion, or pills, or nutritional supplements, or drinks, or whatever? And you've got to train people. We need a doctor on the stage to tell you why you should drink this. You didn't know you should drink it last month, you've never drunk it before, and it's $100 a bottle because it's so amazing. And you will drink it every month, okay, and it will stop your headaches and make your knees stop aching. Really? Yeah, and what's in the, we need to tell you about the ingredients, we need to tell you about why you need it. We've got to tell you about why you need it, because you didn't need it last month, and now you do need it, you didn't know you needed it. But you can't build a business unless we train you in using this product, so we're going to need a lot of training, we're going to need a lot of information, etc. I'm going to give you product training now for World Ventures. Are you ready? Even if you're here for the very first time, this is product training for World Ventures. Now listen carefully. 5 nights in Venice, Italy, in a 5-star hotel overlooking the canal, dinner, bed and breakfast included, concierge service, 2 private excursions around Venice, a host who will look after you when you arrive, okay, for $250. That's your product training, it's done. Is there anything about what I just said you did not understand? Then you've been trained. It's travel. You've been doing it anyway. You do it, and people want to do more of it, and more of it, and more of it. They're not saying to you, why would I want that? Like the juice. Why would I want that? Well, I didn't need it. Why is it $100 and what's in it? It's travel. Okay, it's a want product. You know the difference between want products and need products? You need bread, you need meat, you need food, you need milk, you need water. You want to go on holiday, right? I'm going to stop buying meat and bread and milk so I can go on holiday. You see people go on holiday with a credit card to pay for it and they can't afford it. I'm having a flipping holiday. Here's my credit card. I'll pay for it next year. Because holidays are so important, because for most people, remember we said about the linear income, it's the 2 weeks of the year, it is in England, 2 or 3 weeks of the year, when I'm free. It's all I've got. I'm going on holiday, and we sell it. We don't even sell it, because we're not travel agents. We just tell people, contact the company, book a trip. We're not travel agents, we just talk about the opportunity and the membership. Yeah? It's remarkably simple, guys. Beyond simple. And then the last thing I'm going to say to you is, what's the secret? There are 2 secrets. The first one is that you never, ever give up on you. The only person that can stop you from grabbing hold of financial freedom is you. The only person. Never, ever give up. The second one is simpler, because never give up is hard work. The next one is a word, an English word, which is next. Okay? Some of you know this word, you've heard me use it before. And let me tell you how that works. So for the new people in the room, by now, you're looking at this 6'5" Englishman and thinking, this guy's a crazy person. I don't care what you think of me. You see, once you've got stuff sorted out in your life, I don't mind if you don't like me. My job here tonight is to make sure that if you're here for the first time, you make one of 2 decisions. You walk out of that door and you say, I like this, I want to talk to someone, I need to know more. I need to get started, I need to find out more. I get it. Or you walk out of this door and you say, I like it, I understand it, I appreciate why you invited me, I get why you called me into this meeting, but I just don't want to do it. It's not for me, it's not the right time, it won't suit me. And we would say thank you for listening, wish you the best in whatever you do, and shake your hand and say, bless you, I hope you know, all the success in the world. Because you don't want to join us doesn't make you a bad person. What I don't want to happen is that the third thing is you walk out confused and you go, I don't understand why they asked me that either. I don't see what the point is. What was all that about? I don't know. What was all that? What were they excited about? So it's important that we My job is to make sure you're not confused. And if you are confused, by the way, please come and talk to us. Please come and talk to the people that invited you. So getting back to this word next. 1984, I think it was. A long time ago. We'd been in Amway for 3 or 4 years. And I was fed up with people being stupid when I showed them an opportunity to change their lives. And we had a couple of guys at a meeting. And one of them was just, you know, people that won't shut up and they've got so much to say and they want to get a gun, right? Shoot you now. Okay, some people just have to be difficult. And they left, and it was a miserable meeting. It wasn't enjoyable. And I was like thinking, what does it take to get people to, well, it just takes talking to more people. Just because one person doesn't want to do it, you talk to another one, and another one, another one. They left, okay? And I had watched them go off down the road, drive off in their car, and I turned around and I went, next! Who's next? I'll show you, and you, and you, and you, and you. I'll show everybody in this room if I'm going to get rich. If you're going to get my life back for me, and I'm going to get the next 40 or some of you youngsters in this room, I started this when I was 23. I have had more freedom in time than 20, 30, 50 other men. My children never saw me go to work. I would go to school to drop them off, go to school to pick them up. The mothers at the school would look at me and go, he's probably out of work. I was the only man there. When I pulled up in my first brand new Jaguar, they thought, being out of work's good, isn't it? You get a new car. I was free. That's why I could take my children to school. That's why wherever I needed to be for them, I was there. It wasn't a question of, no, Daddy can't come, he's got to go to the office. Don't forget next. There's always somebody else to talk to. My wish for you, and I'm going to stop now, my wish for you is to get this, you understand. Come on that ride, join us. In essence, all we are is a team of people with like-minded thinking, who have a vision for our lives and a passion which most people don't understand. We know where we're going, we know how to get there, and we're looking for other people to join us on that ride. We're looking to build a bigger and bigger and bigger team. All right? So I want to leave you with that thought. I want to wish you all the success you're prepared to work for. And danger out!
That's amazing. You are all speechless, and I'm sure all of us couldn't sleep tonight. Okay, hold on, okay? Because I understand it's a very, very valuable information and experience that we share tonight, okay? I understand that some of us ada yang tak faham, okay, bahasa Inggeris. Jadi jangan risau, okay? IMB James Lee akan terangkan dalam bentuk Mandarin, okay?
那些不懂英文或者不是很清楚的，全部留下来在这一边。等下 James 会跟你们翻译成为华语。
好。Okay, and sesiapa yang tak faham bahasa Inggeris, kita ada sesi untuk penerangan di sebelah sini. Mandarin di sebelah sini, okay? Melayu, bahasa Melayu di belakang sana, sebelah sana. Okay, anda boleh berkumpul sekarang untuk sharing, ya.
现在